family is a reader. My dad loves to read about history, and he also likes a good mystery. My mom and my brother are very similar in that they both love self-help books, motivational books, but also they like to dabble in fiction like mysteries. And then we have my cute, sweet Mimi. Would you believe it if I told you that this sweet lady right here is a Stephen King fan? But since we all read so many different genres, I thought, why not have my family members pick what I read? So I'm going to be filming a video, and I wanted you guys to pick what I read. I feel like a lot of people think that I've always been a reader, and I haven't. I really became a reader in my adulthood. I read in school because I had to.
I use Spark Notes on everything. I have a confession. I never did a summer reading.
Animal Farm?
Nope, I Spark Noted every single book that they told us to read for the summer.
Before we jump into the book options, I want to say a huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Spines. Are you an author looking to publish your first book? Are you an author looking to republish? Or are you a serial creative writer looking to get your work out into the public world for the first time? Then Spines is the all-in-one publishing tool that you've been looking for. While I talk to you about Spines, I'm going to be showing you on the screen how to turn your manuscript into a ready-to-publish book in just 5 steps. Spines is a one-stop shop offering a seamless transition from draft to distribution. So while they handle all of the complex background stuff, you get to do what you love best, and that's writing. They offer comprehensive services covering all aspects of publishing, including editing, proofreading, formatting, cover art, across a wide range of channels. They have streamlined every aspect of the publishing process by utilizing advanced AI technology. Their global reach and speed rapidly transform manuscripts into published works that are then distributed globally, allowing you, the author, to reach readers worldwide. And there's more. You also have immediate access to professional editors that are a part of the experienced editorial support team. And that is all with just a click of a button. And as an author, you get to manage your royalties. Spines is incredibly user-friendly, and they provide easy-to-use tools for you to monitor your royalties and manage your rights across countless distribution channels. Spines, compared to the industry standard, is a no-brainer, and let me prove it to you. As you can see, the industry standard for publishing ranges from $5,000 to $25,000. And with Spines, it starts at $99 a month. The industry standard's time to publish is 6 to 12 months, and with Spines, it's less than 30 days. At the end of the day, Spines is committed to making you, the author, the priority. So start your publication journey today and click the link in the description box down below to get started for free. Thank you so much again to Spines for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's see what book options I have for all of my family members to pick. The first one is Earl's Trip. I just think it sounds cute. This is like a Regency, I think it might be general fiction / romance. Beneath a Scarlet Sky. Basically, only one of them can. Dark age. So this young student is AFK. This is I'll just read. Oh. I think we lost someone.
Oh no, my battery's going low on my phone. We had a debate a little bit ago. Actually, Daddy and I are both wanting the same book read. Beneath the Scarlet Sky, because there's several things, like I mentioned before, we've done the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. I've read several other books. He likes the history of World War II, so, yes. And it's based on true story. And I think it's something we should never forget. So I think those stories, it's a good remembrance of what was that hopefully we'll never have again,
Yes.
The second one is actually one that Mimi really likes too, because she's read a lot of Stephen King books.
I was hoping you would pick this one.
Yeah. And honestly, we all three kind of like that one too. But
yeah, it's the one I was going to pick, but that's okay.
Oh.
Next we've got Hunter. The Wishing Game is where there's this island.
Not that one. Not that one. That one. That's the one.
This one's 750.
Whoa.
Wow, wow.
That's the one I picked.
You guys did a great job.
I would be scared.
Yeah, I'm very scared. Okay, now that you've been introduced to my family, the first pick I'm going to be reading is from my mom and my dad. It's called Beneath the Scarlet Sky by Mark Sullivan. This is a riveting saga of history, suspense, and love that all takes place during World War II in Italy. Good morning, everyone. I wanted to update you on Beneath a Scarlet Sky. Off camera, I have been reading a lot of this book and I actually can't put it down. I get excited every time I think about reading this book. This book is heartbreaking, even more so knowing that this is based on a true story and obviously dealing with World War II, just the horrors of war. This is on the back of the book, so it's not a spoiler. But it's different because the main character, Pino, he's a personal driver for Adolf Hitler's left-hand man. So this guy's very close to like Mussolini. He is a double agent spy. There's so many complications that come with this. At one point in this book, there's a conversation that's had and someone says that he's literally a silent hero. It makes me think of all of these heroic men and women that also were doing this during World War II. We don't have a story. Gosh, I don't know. It just makes you think about so much. It's very thought-provoking, I will say. I knew halfway through, not even, like 25% of the way through, that I was not going to rate this book. It's just one of those. You can't rate it. I have like 150 pages left.
We find ourselves starting from scratch, brick by brick. No path carved out for us now. The brush is thick.
Hey everyone, and good morning. It's the next day. I can say I've officially finished Beneath a Scarlet Sky. Wow, my heart after reading this, it was so broken. I could not do my review last night. There was no way. I took some time to like really think about this. This is definitely a heavy book. This morning, I'm ready to give my review, my final thoughts. Considering this is based on true events, obviously we're dealing with World War II, Italy. I don't know, sometimes I feel like it's hard for me to truly fathom World War I and II. This one I specifically loved because it's in Italy, so you're getting like a different part of the world and what it was like for these Italians during World War II. I thought Mark Sullivan did a fantastic job telling Pino's story, and I know that this was really hard for Pino to share. Decades afterwards, he would not talk about anything that happened during the war. The fact that we have this story is really special, and even if you're intimidated or just like a little bit scared to read something like this, I totally understand why. It's very hard. It's hard to read about. I know there are some reviews on Goodreads. Some people didn't like his pacing. Some people were looking for like more action and all of that. I just feel like that's not the point, if I'm gonna be honest. These things happen to a real person. It's not just a character in a book. I think we need to be more sensitive with that. Like, how can a human being deal with so much of this stuff? And it's that we can't. Literally giving all of his burdens of this war to the Lord. That made me tear up. It's fantastic. I loved reading Pino's story. I'm just so grateful that we get to read it. So I would absolutely recommend, absolutely. And it's crazy because by the end of it, there are still some things that are really open-ended. Like there's some questions that Pino struggled with for a long time, and that's told in the afterword. So please go pick this up if you're into historical fiction. Next, we are doing the one that my sweet Mimi recommended, which is 11/22/63 by Stephen King. I actually started this after I finished Beneath the Scarlet Sky last night, and I am now on page 102. I have been craving another Stephen King read. I feel so at home. He literally makes me laugh so hard. I am loving it so far. This one, it's like historical, magical realism. This is about the main character, Jake. He gets an opportunity to go through this portal back in time, is attempting to rewrite history and stop the JFK assassination. I am so excited. I love Stephen King's writing so much. This is a super chunky book. I'm loving it so far. So let's begin 11/22/63. Well, I've actually already begun it, but let's continue. update of 11/22/63. I have like 150 pages left. This is a chunky book. I think it's almost 850 pages. And I started this book I think a month and a half ago, but I've been reading tons of other books in the meantime for other videos, and I'm now circling back to this video here. We are like about to hit the climax. It is 11/22/63 day, and I have been waiting obviously the whole book for this day to see if our main character Jake is able to stop Lee Harvey Oswald from assassinating JFK. Basically what makes this so interesting too, they essentially is trying to stop Jake from rewriting history at all costs. So many things are being thrown into his path trying to stop him from accomplishing his task that he's been sent back in the past to do, and it's stressing me out. Let's keep reading. I think I'm about to go on a hot plot walk. If you don't know what that is, it's a new series that I've started over on my Instagram. You should definitely go follow me over there. Let's keep reading. I'm really scared. As you saw, I finished my grandmother's pick, 11/22/63 by Stephen King. I feel like all of these books are going to make me cry. This is the most beautiful Stephen King book that I've read, and it's definitely one of my favorites, but all the books I've read by him have been 5 stars except Misery. This one, it's 5 stars. The reason why I'm giving this one 5 stars is because, first of all, I love his writing. He just tells a story unlike any other author that I've been able to find. Like, he's so unique in how he tells a story. I think I've said this before on my channel, but I feel like either Stephen King is an author for you or he's not. One thing about Stephen King is he does tend to have fluff in his books. Usually I don't like that whenever I'm reading a book. If there's like a little bit, I'm fine with it. But with Stephen King, I would say like 75% of the time it adds to the story in some way. And then there are other times when he just kind of goes off. The ending was so beautiful. It broke my heart, but like healed it right back up at the same time. I just love the premise of this book. I love the idea. I love the time traveling element of it, but also every single time that you go through this portal, it's a fresh start. You're starting over. That has its consequences though. I know a lot of times when we hear the name Stephen King, we think of horror, but this one is not a horror novel. This has science fiction with the time traveling element. It has historical fiction because this is taking place during the 50s and 60s with the JFK assassination. All of the research that Stephen King put into this book is so impressive, and I was reading the afterword. I think he actually tried writing it in the early 70s, but he was also a teacher full-time, so he didn't have time to put in all of this research. I know everyone on booktube talks about how amazing this book is, and I'm just another one of those little heads talking about it, so definitely recommend. Definitely go pick it up. The next one that I need to read is Dark Age by Pierce Brown. This is the book that my brother Hunter picked for me. Of course he did. This is the 5th book in the Red Rising saga. I love Red Rising. I started reading Red Rising in March or April of 2023. These are books that are not just like super easy for me to read. It takes a lot of brain power, and also Pierce Brown uses $20 words like every sentence. So I am really taking my time whenever I read any of his books. I am constantly looking up the definition of certain words just to get context, but also it's good to add to my vocabulary. This book is considered like the hardest book to read out of this saga. It's considered grimdark, so I'm very scared about that. So many people have said they have to put this one down because it's so heavy on the action scenes and the fighting scenes, but it's not gory. I did hear a spoiler on accident though with this book, and once I heard that spoiler, it made me excited to pick up Dark Age. I'm going to actually text Olivia and Haley. We're planning on buddy reading this together, and it's so funny because we've been meeting to like all summer. I'm very excited. This is another huge book because my family was not playing around and they just thought it'd be fun to give me all these books that are huge. This book is 755 pages. That's 100 pages shy of what 11/22/63 was. Let's begin. Hi guys, a little bit of an update. I am pretty far now into Dark Age. I am currently on page 497, chapter 59. This is insane. I'm really worried because there is a conversation in here that I read last night that blew me away. It is one of the most intense yet kind of beautiful but also disturbing conversations I've read, and one of the characters is genuinely a psychopath that I really wish I could read to you guys, but I can't because it's a huge spoiler. So page 478, I heard an author say this one time and I couldn't agree more. You know, a good villain is written when you actually kind of understand their motives, and that's how I feel with one of the antagonists in this series. Exactly understand his motives, but at some points you kind of feel for some of these bad guys. Oh my gosh, I'm actually really enjoying this. I thought I would struggle with it more, but I love it. So let's keep reading Dark Age. I'm actually so creeped out. I keep looking behind me, and it's not that this book is even creepy, it's just what's happening right now. I'm on the edge of my seat. Oh my gosh, I gotta keep reading. A chill that has nothing to do with the wind goes through me. I finished Dark Age by Pierce Brown. I was not really planning on filming today, but I did end up finishing this book, so I have a review coming at you. I don't even know what to think. It's one of those books. I'm ready to jump right into Lightbringer. Wow, this one definitely had a different feel. So far the sequels have felt so much different than the original three. I was expecting this one to be difficult for me to get through, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. My struggle was more of the grim side of things, feeling very hopeless during the first two parts. That was the hardest part to get through, and then the rest of it started moving along. At this point in time, you are seeing how Darrow has been exiled. So many of these characters are just absolutely hated. Their cause, what used to seem so righteous and admirable, this thing that's been going on for 10 years, and these characters are so burnt out and exhausted, and they've just exhausted every bit of themselves to fight for this. And there are some characters that no longer see the significance in their cause. Some of them just don't. I don't know, it gets so much more depressing than it already was. So the solar system is just in disarray. I'm very happy that I got through this one. I know this is the one that everyone says is really difficult to get through, so I'm so happy I did. And my brother was the one that picked this for me, so I'm actually glad he did. It gave me that shove to finally read it. Because it's Red Rising, I don't know, I wouldn't give all of them 5 stars because I just love this world so much and I love these characters, but I think it would be between a 4.75 and a 5 just because I struggled for the first bit of this book. But other than that, I absolutely loved it. Well, now I have successfully read all of the books that my family has picked out for me. This was quite the emotional roller coaster. I hope you guys have stuck around. This was a hard one. My family, I realized, likes to give me books that kind of tearjerker. I don't know what that says about my family, but they pick really good books.
Once again, don't forget to click the link down in the description box below to get started today for free with Spines.